And if you don't get it, my thing is like when you're really trying to build something and you believe in yourself and what you have to offer, and if another person is just poo-pooing you for sharing yourself or connecting, like that's God's protection. Like move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like if you don't get that, but you're putting yourself out there and you want to be well known, it's probably for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, you know, it goes to conviction. The word conviction stands out when you're just talking. So for you, for what you're doing, we're going to go through your journey and everything, but like, can you talk about conviction and how you developed your conviction for what you wanted to do and how you wanted to inspire and impact people?
I move with conviction. I have got to be convicted or I will not do it. And what does that even mean? I have to believe. I have to believe in the product I sell. I have to believe, you know, when I send people, the studio we're in, Andy is one of my greatest friends. He really got me started in podcasting.
Shout out to Andy,
yeah.
by the way, Studio Place.
So when I get a DM, hey, do you know a spot to film in LA? I send them here, right? Like when I'm convicted about, I'm a woman of faith, I move with conviction, and it's everything, because when you believe in something, there's a resonance to it. There's like a depth to it. And the more you live in that truth, when something is a lie or fake, it's so evident and it feels so off that I cannot fake the funk. And that is what, you know, I've been doing for the past decade. And I believe that's what's made me successful. And there's times where it's like, oh, I could do this or this or this, and it could get me there faster. But if I don't believe in it, if I'm not convicted, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and the other thing I want to ask you about is, I'm going to jump all over the place, but that's okay.
No, I love it.
You've had success to a degree. I don't believe you've reached the success that you can. You're just getting started as far as I'm concerned.
That's right.
That's the way I always think.
Amen.
But the success that you've had, how have you kept yourself humbled and not let your head get big? And because what happens is like we get perception from other people, feedback from other people's perceptions of us as we've done things, but they're really reflecting upon their own achievements or what they think they can achieve. And then it can get to us sometimes. So I know how I handle it, but I'd love to hear your take on how you handle that.
Yeah, early on when I did really well, and I didn't come from money, so it was so new for me to be able to have nice things and all the accolades. It did get to me for a minute, and then I had a bit of life happen, something in life that broke me open. And I always say you can either be broken or broken open. And I went on this little journey of self-discovery. I actually went to Africa and I served there and did work. And I realized I was getting my validation from people and things. And all of that is just completely just not going to give me happiness in the end. And I returned to my faith. And I really started to study people like Jesus and how does this man like walk the earth, one of the greatest leaders of all time, and what did he do? He loved all people, all people. And, you know, so I just, he opposes the proud. Like it's not about being proud. And anytime I get in that state, you know, I go back to, you know, how do I want my heart to be today? And who am I really for? And I know in my heart of hearts, like, what feels right and what feels off. And so I think that starts with like the daily check-in with oneself of, I don't like who I'm being right now. I got to clean this up. And I also ask my husband to keep me accountable and people in my life, you know, because you can hang around, you see it all the time. You've interviewed thousands of people. You can get around people and suddenly you start to become like them. And it's like, I don't want to, I want to be proud of who I am, but I don't want to be arrogant. You know, there's a big difference.
Yeah, it's huge. And there's a difference between being arrogant and picking who you want to spend your time with or give your time and attention to too. And one thing that I share is, you know, when it comes to business, people are not numbers, but it is a numbers game. And sometimes you just need to get the reps in. You need to build the skill set so that way you have way more confidence and you're able to move with more conviction. And it's like, I talk to people, I'm like, you have not even given yourself enough chances at bat. Like there's, you know, people are like, I want to be a speaker. I'm like, well, how many places have you gone and spoke for free? How many times have you went and put together a talk and went and ran the play and then got feedback? Oh, well, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, come on.
You just talked about this in the green room, quote unquote, here.
Yeah.
Before we went on live, you were talking about the fact that you taught so many people and you had your sales teams and you were talking to them, putting reps in. I've been on over 1,100 podcasts as a guest. You got to put the reps in, and people don't see that part. They just see the success. They see now, right? They don't see the behind the scenes. And I like my shows to have some exposure to some of that behind the scenes. So, so I want to talk about that one. The idea of that one being that you identify, because we were talking about identifying with what we did, which is really our vehicles, right? Versus finding out who we are. What's our non-negotiables? What's our standards? What are our convictions? What's our mission? What are our values, right?
Yeah.
And so that one is finding out those things. And even if it's different than anything you see out there, the quirkiness, weirdness, and leaning into it unapologetically. You teach people this. You don't call it that one, but you call it Fortify and other names you have probably. But can you talk about the importance for yourself and how you developed that one in you, and then how you talk to other people about that?
Oh my goodness. I just like got giddy when you asked this question, and I love the name of your company and brand. And I think it's so important. We live in this age of comparison and distraction, and we're so invested in comparison. We don't even realize it. We're like, oh, this person, what are they doing? What do they have? And I'm like, you don't have her gifting. You don't have her voice box. You don't have any. Why are you comparing? And it's like the enemy wants to come in and steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to steal your ideas. He wants to destroy your identity. And when you decide to go, no, I'm gonna seek to know myself. And I teach personal branding, and I always share with them, listen, I can tell you all day long, here's a great IP for you, here's great content pillars, here's a great logo, here's great colors, here's great all. But if you don't know yourself, none of this is going to matter. And so when you really explore yourself and go, what are some of my quirks? And for me, for the longest time, I'm like, my voice is low. I didn't like that growing up. Now I love it. It's commanding.
Isn't that
Let's
funny?
go.
What you're insecure about ends up being your superpower.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
It's so crazy. And for me, I'm very street smart, not book smart. I could barely pass science class, but hey, put me in the middle of a city, watch me whip, watch me nay nay. You know what I mean? Like I can farm from the farm. Like, I can milk. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, too much. Okay,
no,
but
that
I can
works.
bail hay. I can, and so it's knowing yourself.